Fightsplaining.
A lot of people don't know I was ECW champion for a while.
In like 94 when it didn't matter. Hi everyone, and welcome to Fightsplaining, where we're going to change the name eventually because I'm getting sick of it. That's Patrick Waste over there. I'm Chris Toggleswitch. We just watched WWE Monday Night Raw for August 6th, and it was a show that we're going to talk about.
It actually wasn't a terrible Monday Night Raw for the first time and since Stone Cold left.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
No, it's been pretty shit the past month or two though. It's been garbage.
Yeah,
But tonight, it's like they watched NXT or something. We're like, hey, why don't we make it like good? You got 3 hours to do it.
It could have been that they were hyping Rousey for so long, and she was going to be on at like, you joked and said 10:59. She didn't hit the ring until like 11:04. So they needed people to stick around to see it. So they needed to put something out there. Plus they knew if people were going to stick around that long, this is their chance to drag some people in. So maybe they have to not put on a shit show for once in their lives, you know?
Yeah, let me tell you, it worked like a charm.
It did. It really did.
It kept me, like, I mean, I think I would have saved the Roman Reigns match for last, but apparently they know people are kind of getting sick of seeing Reigns main event everything. So, but yeah, that Rousey match, it started off kind of slow, but man, she got the best arm drag or judo throw, whatever the hell you want to call it.
That was sick every single time.
In the business right now. And what's up with these botched T-bone suplexes? Like, she went to give one to Stephanie McMahon in WrestleMania, and then she went to give one to Fox tonight.
So this one was a reverse exploder, which is a reverse T-bone suplex, and I don't think Alicia Fox has ever taken one or seen one in her life. She was supposed to like basically start facing the opposite way, then land on her stomach, and she fucking just felt like a sack of shit. And I don't know what happened with the Stephanie one. That was kind of weird too. I think she's just going for moves that are a little bit beyond her experience and beyond the experience of the people she's wrestling.
Well, I remember at WrestleMania, she's got Stephanie in the corner, and they're screaming at each other like, yeah, you got me! You got me! What? To quote Shane Helms, what's up with that?
Good callback.
Yeah, well, you know, last time I really watched wrestling was around that era anyway. But, yeah, the fucking... Oh, and Rousey, best mic drop in the business right now.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
She spiked that thing like Rob Gronkowski spikes fucking football. She was just like, boom, the thing almost hit her in the face. I was laughing when I seen that. I was like, oh, this close to having like Alexa Bliss be able to talk more shit about her.
How do you bounce a microphone that high in the air? That was pretty insane.
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
But imagine she hit herself in the face. Like, Alexa Bliss could come out next week and be like, see, that overhyped rookie can't even put down a microphone.
That would be good. And
like,
any fuel to this fire is awesome, because this match is going to be ridiculous. SummerSlam's looking pretty good.
Yeah, SummerSlam actually, I don't know if it's going to steal SummerSlam weekend. I think that automatically is going to go to NXT TakeOver no matter what.
Yeah, I agree.
But... yeah, it's going to be interesting. Alexa Bliss, fucking hot as always, looking like 50 Shades of jail time.
I liked that. I liked that Alexa Bliss and Rousey is being just teased for this long, and that they're going on and on with it, and they're actually letting Rousey show up on TV in like a stupid match against Alicia Fox, which was the main event, which is kind of weird that Alicia Fox... That's probably the first and only time she will ever main event a Monday Night Raw.
Right.
But it's kind of cool that like they are throwing Ronda into these, like, it almost feels like part of the regular roster, except the fact that it's on at 11:04 kind of takes you out of that. But just seeing someone as big as her, who's supposed to be on like a Brock Lesnar part-time schedule, just be like one of the gals and just kind of be in a weird tag team match and shit, it's cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and plus it further adds to that little feud that she got going with Alexa Bliss. Like, them two haven't actually wrestled or fought, and it's just been like a good back and forth, like not to compare it to anything, but you know, like how the old rivalries back used to be back in the day, like Taz and Sabu, they didn't touch each other for a year.
Yeah,
Like
that's always
Rousey
better.
and Bliss haven't got their match, no matter how much Rousey wants it, and like neither one of them really come out on top.
So it's going to be an explosion at SummerSlam. It's going to be insane. Plus, on top of it, like normally you'd be like, well, how is Alexa Bliss possibly going to win? It's clear that Ronda Rousey's going to wipe the floor with her, but they're doing the whole heel thing where it's like, no, she's fucked with Rousey over and over and over again and cost her a championship match and shit. So like, it shows that her heel tactics could be enough, which makes it even more exciting.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to win that title match, honestly. I mean, it would make sense to have Rousey win it, but you never know. Rousey just might want to be like, yeah, just put me in a match and, you know, have Alexa Bliss just steal one, walk away with it. Like,
yeah.
Almost. I mean, if Alexa Bliss wins, that's how it's going to be. True heel fashion, outside interference, something like that, I think, anyway.
And Rousey might be looking at Roman Reigns and being like, yeah, I don't want to be shoved down people's throats. I didn't come here to get booed out of the building because you're going to, like, make me champion instantly and have me constantly on television. Like, she kind of wants to be like a face version of Brock Lesnar, which is a lot better in my opinion, and it's going to make every appearance she has more special instead of just being like, yeah, I was excited for Ronda Rousey. Is she ever going to fucking shut the fuck up and get off TV? Like, we don't have to worry about
right? That. I agree. Moving on. What's up with Paul Heyman?
That was, okay, so we're going to disagree on this, and that's fine, but that was one of the greatest promos / interviews I've seen in forever. So here's why. Last week when Brock Lesnar was doing his hissy fit and reading his weird magazine in the back room and then like shoving around Heyman and then like the Brock I can't breathe thing in the ring, like it all kind of was okay, but it didn't sell the Roman Reigns match. What made me feel was, oh, they're making Brock literally hateable enough even for people who like him to where they're like, oh, they're not even going to let him do anything interesting. They're going to have him read a magazine and say he hates us. That's so cheesy. Even I hate it, and I'm a Lesnar fan. That's where it was going, and it was just stupid. It's like, oh, Lesnar's getting out of here. They just need to have him bury himself and split up with Paul Heyman, walk out so that Heyman doesn't get dragged through the mud when Lesnar leaves. He can leave on a sour note so Heyman can continue on. And I thought it was done. I was like, fuck, this is going to be a stupid match. I'm not going to care again and whatever. But this promo and this interview, immediately Heyman did what he does. He sells tickets, and I immediately am invested again. I'm like, this is awesome. Like the last thing he said where he was like, Roman Reigns doesn't stand a chance because of how violent Brock has been lately, to the point where like he's being violent against the one human being he would tolerate in the world, Paul Heyman. Like it, and the way he said everything, and yeah, he was crying, but it was cool in a way that like, he was crying just because of like, he was like, my kids his kids won't play with my kids anymore. And it's just like had enough like fucking sneaky ass Paul Heyman bringing back his ECW storylines where it's like fucking Raven stealing the Sandman's kid and shit like that. Like bringing kids into the mix. Like he knows how to tug on heartstrings, even though the audience knows it's lame and cheesy, that they're going to buy into it. All of that was just fucking why. It was fantastic. I loved it. I thought it was great. And now I care about that match again.
See, I don't know. Like, I don't like seeing Paul Heyman act like a human. I don't like it. I don't like seeing him show any kind of emotion. Like, this is the guy that created EC fucking W. You know what I mean? Like, he's been associated with Brock Lesnar 16 goddamn years. 16 years. And now he's going to fucking cry? Like, what? He didn't cry when ECW died. I don't think he cried when WWE ruined ECW, when they tried that little insurgence. Like, Paul Heyman has always just been like, what's next? Yeah. Where am I going next? How am I going to get over next?
Which is cool that you mentioned that, because that even came up. This is a well done interview, first of all, but that even came up in the interview where she was like, so if you split with Lesnar, are there any other prospects that you might go after? Like that was cool that they brought that up, because it's like, this is the guy, like you said, he's always looking for the next big thing. And Brock Lesnar has always been just the next big thing. And his response to that was pretty awesome, where he was like, this isn't something that's replaceable. What the fuck are you talking about, woman? Like, it was great.
Yeah, I mean, but where does Paul Heyman go next? Like who is the next big thing? Like, who sticks out?
Braun Strowman.
But Braun Strowman doesn't need a mouthpiece. He just needs to go in there and smash shit.
That's true. He doesn't need
You know,
one.
like,
But
I can't think of any other talent.
Ronda
The only
Rousey.
case, but even then, Ronda, oh, maybe. But she doesn't strike me as a Paul Heyman gal.
That's true. It would have to be someone who is extraordinary in the ring and not only can't talk to save their life, but shouldn't talk because it makes them look stupid. And you know what? A lot of those come through. They unfortunately just never have a Paul Heyman, so we never hear about them, or they get shoved out the back door of NXT. So,
You know what I think happens? October 27th, the NWO, and I think Paul Heyman's going to be in it. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. That's just a fucking half-baked idea right there. But if anyone, to me, that makes sense.
okay, why? Please explain why.
Because the NWO is like the elitists that fucking take over and run shit, right?
Mm-hmm, that's true.
Now, Paul Heyman got nothing. Brock Lesnar said, fuck you, I'm out. Tough shit, get me a steak. Paul Heyman's sitting there doing nothing. Meanwhile, the NWO is filming shit down in Orlando, and Hulk Hogan has some kind of countdown. He was just reinstated into the WWE. Like, the NWO is old, washed-up fucking fat guys now. And Hulk, who still randomly wrestles, I don't know how he does it. HGH, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. It would just seem like the perfect heel move.
So here's why I wouldn't like it from a continuity and nerdy comic book standpoint. The NWO, or at the very, very beginning, the seeds of the NWO were when ECW invaded Raw the first time in like 95 or 96, where they had Sandman, the Eliminators, Sabu, and a couple other people, maybe Dreamer, interfere. They had a couple ECW matches where they used tables and stuff, and like they were like, why isn't the referee disqualifying them? And someone was like, that's ECW rules, asshole. And then that might have been Heyman himself who explained that they don't have like the same type of rules. And then it was almost like they were going to take over, but then that went nowhere. They did a talent exchange, and then they just went their separate ways. So then the NWO showed up in WCW. We're taking over. We're going to be violent and weird, and we're going to be more hardcore, and ripped off ECW. And then DX ripped off NWO, which ripped off ECW. And then the Attitude Era was just them being like, we got to do what ECW is doing. And then the hardcore era in WCW was, we got to do what ECW is doing. So I don't see the NWO as anything more than just a fucking like ECW fucking junior that showed up in WCW.
But they're still over to this day.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Heel or not. And what better mouthpiece for the new coming of the New World Order and what new blood that they might accrue than Paul Heyman, of all people?
So Paul Heyman's going to go from advocating for the most legitimate badass on the face of the planet to Kevin Nash dragging his ball bag over the top rope?
You know what? Bad idea. Let's scratch that one.
Oh,
I don't know where that went. I need that for my records. And the rest of Raw kind of look like this.
The graph paper?
It's architect paper.
Oh.
But yes, it's architect paper in the shape of graphs.
Okay.
Because I can't write in the lines.
So the paper is made out of architects?
Yeah, this conversation is over.
All right, Monday Night Raw. It opened with Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin, which
I was shocked at that right there.
Yeah,
I was really shocked at that.
It was kind of cool that they. So I mentioned this earlier privately to Patrick Waste over there, but they're trying to build Roman up as someone who can go against Brock Lesnar. And what better way to do that than to have Baron Corbin back away in fear from Brock Lesnar and then beat the shit out of Roman Reigns for 90% of a match? Like, that really doesn't do much to make me think that Roman Reigns deserves a victory over Brock Lesnar. He had so much trouble with fucking Baron Corbin.
Well, Baron Corbin got that bald anger. Like, I can identify with that. Like,
yeah, I'm getting there. I'll be there very shortly with you guys, but still.
Congrats. welcome to the club. Who the hell is Baron Corbin? Like, he just, like, I haven't really kept up with wrestling in the past couple of years, so I'm not like he doesn't strike me as a legend.
He was in NXT for a bit, and then he got brought up as like just a badass metalhead with a bunch of like mildly satanically named finishers and shit. But then you started realizing, oh, he wasn't like a gothic character, or he wasn't like an Undertaker or Mysterious, or like even Aleister Black, where it's just like, oh, he's just a badass metalhead. Like, no, it was more like, oh, he's like a sneaky classic heel, do anything to get ahead motherfucker. And he won I think it was the very first Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Or at least, he won like the second or third one. Either way, that was his first quote-unquote title, and then from there, they just started like mildly pushing him to where he was like top of the mid-card, but never really had a title. And then he started losing, well, he was always kind of losing his hair, and just got more and more apparent on television the brighter the lights got. So they were like, you gotta shave your head, dude, like your action figure is gonna look like Waylon Mercy soon. And he was like, all right, fucking, I'll shave my head. And they were like, yeah, but like everyone's gonna be like, oh, you started going bald, so you shaved your head? Why don't we make it seem like you had to shave your head for a position? And that fits in with your do anything to get ahead character. You could put on a suit, shave, and then after that,
adjustable too. just paint himself up a little bodysuit there.
I would love to see a painted tie, just right.
So yeah, he'll paint his whole body, but he'll leave his face unpainted for once.